I was like, is this an exorcism? What is they doing? Like, with episode 2, which is very interesting, we have the opening of like the stripper American Idol, and we kind of see different strippers coming through and showing their talents. We see Whisper, we see Roulette, we see Big Bone, and we see a bunch of other girls. And then of course Helly is like kind of arguing with Mercedes and then also Uncle Clifford, because Mercedes says she wants to be a part of picking out who the girls are. So Mercedes picks Whisper, who is one of the new girls, and then Roulette, which Roulette reminds me of Mercedes. I don't know why she was looking at her like she should be grateful. I'm like, you are like literally watching yourself. So girl. So then we also get where Mercedes was about to pick another girl, but Helly jumped in and she says Big Bone. Big Bone is Miracle Watts. And she doesn't know how to work the pole. Actually, real Miracle Watts does know how to work the pole, but the character Big Bone does not know how to work the pole. So she's very pretty and she has a bomb body. So Helly is like, I'm gonna bring her on to do bartending. So they are beefing about that, and then there is a lot going on in this second episode, and I'm curious to know how you all feel about it. I actually thought that this was very interesting. You can kind of see Mercedes seeing the girls when they were stripping, especially Whisper and Roulette. She instantly started to picture herself in the club, and I can kind of feel like she could picture herself being invisible and these new girls still in the show. And we kind of got that as a foreshadowing of what actually happened later on in the series. So we also get Andre. He's going back to Uncle Tydell Ruffin's house, and he see like people have water hoses plugged up to Uncle Tydell's house, and come to find out like he has been using like the business expenses on paying the neighborhood's water bill, which I was like, I never knew, like I understood like Uncle Tydell, I keep calling him Uncle Tydell, I care whatever you say, I don't care what you say about Isaiah Washington's like personal beliefs about political views or whatever. Like Isaiah, him playing Tydell Ruffin, when I tell you Tydell Ruffin was supposed to be antagonist, but I actually really enjoyed seeing Tydell Ruffin on the screen, as well as Patrice Woodbine. So in episode 1, I didn't really mention, but Patrice Woodbine, she's passing out food to people. She's using her church as a food bank where she can kind of hand out food and also CDs to people. But in episode 2, you can see she makes her own music video of saying, I don't even remember where it was like where the church reside. It was like basically a spoof of where the money reside. And when I tell you, I was screaming on that. Like it was crazy. So that was that. We also see that because Young Murder is going on tour, he wanted to stop by Uncle Clifford's house to kind of talk to Uncle Clifford, and then he sees Ernestine, and it was just like Auntie Ernestine, and it was just like a really cute interaction with him and her, and he could see Clifford through the mirror, and he could see him like peeking through trying to listen, and it was just so sad because I really feel like Lil Murder is going through a lot. He's about to deal with this new coming fame. Also, he's going at it alone, and he's also not able to be himself. There's another scene where he goes with Wody, and they go to prison to pick up, I forget his name, Big Teak. So they go to pick up Big Teak. I feel like Big Teak was inside of the car in episode 1 when the guys were asking him like, when you coming out with new music, and the expression on his face when he went to go hug Big Teak let me know everything that I need to know. He felt like this is a burden. This is about to be a burden. This man is about to mess up whatever he got going, whatever he's trying to get away from. It felt like that. Or it's something else deeper that we don't know that he is tied up in with Big T. But it just felt like, man, I thought I was getting out of this, and now I gotta bring this nigga in this. So he's bringing him on. I think Wody wants to bring him on as security. So basically, that's gonna be his security. So we're about to see what that's gonna be like on tour with Big Teak, Wody, Lil Murder, and then Keyshawn. So Keyshawn is trying to see if she can go on a road, but she has to like do different techniques in order to kind of see if she can get Derek to be on board with her. So she kind of gets Rome to come by the house to see if they can like come up with some agreement on different new opportunities. So he comes by the house and she kind of flips it like, I don't know, like if I'm not getting this percentage or if you're not doing this. She's kind of like making it seem like she's not all the way in, but it's a way to kind of keep Derek at bay, which is very weird. I mean, that's too much. Like, girl, just give it up. I mean, I know you got some kids by the name, but come on, girl. And then what's so interesting is that Mercedes is finally they're celebrating the reopen, which is on Uncle Clifford's birthday. And Uncle Clifford is mad about it because he's like, this is too soon. He doesn't care about his birthday, even though he is mad that he's 40, still living with his grandma, and haven't had dick in 5 months. And I was like, oh my God, you too? It's like, no. Anyway, so I'm just like, this is crazy. Like, so Helly is taking full guard. She's like opened up, and when we see that night, Whisper is a very interesting character. We can kind of see where they're taking this season. In season 1, there were elements of supernatural things, but they're bringing more holistic supernatural elements and like realism into this series, and I actually am really here for this. So we have Whisper. She's like really into, like, I could tell, like, probably tarot. She's into pendulums, so she's moving the pendulum and they're asking the pendulum different things, and she says they said no or whatever, because I forget the girl's name, but she asked if that was her baby daddy, and Whisper said no. But then they see a pole swinging from, is it the champagne room? I think it's the champagne room. Yes. And that's where, of course, the incident happened at murder night, and they see the pendulum shaking, and Mercedes goes in there, and Whisper looks at her like she knows something that happened. Like, Whisper is a very interesting character. So we kind of get that element of like this kind of eerie supernatural vibe that they're kind of going with the series. And then of course they start to do their dance, which is really cute. But then we started to notice, like, Whisper and Roulette, they're like clicking up and doing their own thing. Mercedes is still dealing with the pressure of her shoulder, so she tries to like get shine from them, and she's going up on the pole, and unfortunately baby girl comes down. They didn't show it, but she came down. Later on, this was very interesting. They take her to Diamond, and I was like, what is this? I was like, is this an exorcism? What is they doing? Like, so apparently Diamond is really into like root work and things like that, which I was like, we did not know a lot about Diamond prior in season 1. We didn't know a lot other than he was in the military. Yes, he had the healing crystal. That was about it. And then also he did put clothes on Keyshawn's wrist, because I think she had an injury from Derek whooping her ass, and she did put that on her wrist. So he said we used to do this in the military. He never said anything about like I was taught this, I do hoodoo. Like he never said any of that. So come to find out, like Mr. Sir knows how to do root work. Like he literally took some energy that was on, or a spirit or something that was on Mercedes, and he kind of put it on the scale, so you could kind of see that it was it 9 pounds? It was 7 pounds of pressure. That was the name of the episode. And because Mercedes was the one who shot the gun, and he let him know, he's like, one thing's for certain that I do know, 7 pounds of pressure is the same amount it takes to squeeze a trigger of a gun. So that pressure, all of that, it just wasn't an injury. It was like something spiritually on her, which is very interesting, because it's the paradise room. Every time they go into the paradise room, some eerie stuff happens, and then later on we kind of see what, like, something else that's going on. So we also see that Corbin, he goes to the Pink with Andre, and then also to meet up with Haley, and then Uncle Clifford, and they're like, the amount of money that you're trying to offer us is not enough. Like, we need a couple of M's, and he's pissed about that. So that doesn't work out. Come to find out, it's Uncle Clifford's birthday, and I'm kind of skipping different things, but it's Uncle Clifford's birthday, and he gets kidnapped. When, I'm not gonna lie, when the ghost face, the scream face popped up when Ernestine, I was like, oh, what? They're really doing some supernatural stuff today. Okay, I'm like, oh, they really do some crazy stuff. But her friends, his friend, or I think she does have pronouns. Uncle Clifford's friends kidnap Uncle Clifford, and they basically throw a surprise party, and Uncle Clifford gets it popping, and I'm like, okay, gets it popping with Trey, and I was like, okay. So that was kind of that. We see the supernatural element of the club. Later on, we see, like, after the incident where Mercedes, she gets injured, and kind of what's his name, Diamond takes that energy off of her. Mercedes kicks Haley out of her place, and she's like, you gotta find another place to live, which I really don't believe that Haley was waiting to find a new apartment. I really think that she enjoyed staying with Mercedes. I also think that she felt guilty about everything that she put her through, and it wasn't a lie. Like, it took a long time for you to come back, because girl, you was about to leave Mercedes in there with Travius, I forget his name, and I think she feels a little guilty about that. Also, I think she likes having like this little sisterhood bond that her and Mercedes started to develop since they started doing this scamming in season 1. And I think that they really were enjoying each other, and there was a little bit of guilt. But now, like, Mercedes is like, all of this, ever since you came, like, all this crazy stuff started to happen. I need you out of my place. Like, I need you out by tonight. So she stays inside of the Pink, and she starts to play some music, and we see on the viewfinder of the security footage, whatever his name is, Martravius, we see him, like a glimpse of him, like it flashes on the screen, which lets me also, it leads me to believe, like, what was that group that he was in, like the Delta group that he was in? Was it something like the Illuminati? Because they were alluding to that group was very dangerous, but I thought they were just saying like on some mafia stuff. But he did have a ring. I just thought it was like Mason group, but it may seem like that group may be on some type of Illuminati type of stuff, even though, like, or like even like Bohemian Grove, like all of these organizations, they allude to say that they kind of have like secret sacrifice type of experiences that they do to kind of keep the organization alive, like just weird stuff. And that's just hearsay. I don't know if these things are real, but it kind of alluded that that was that type of group. And then seeing that all of the little things that we seen in season 1 with like the feathers on Patrice Woodbine's eyelashes, just other things that we have seen, it just made me believe like they are moving into a more supernatural element of the show. And then also, yeah, there may be some spirits inside of the Pink, which is very interesting to see how this is. Like even when like Diamond was like snapping his fingers and like moving the energy out of Mercedes, and she was kind of like jerking, I was like, what the hell is this? This is like interesting. Like I love this because I love to write about supernatural stuff. Like the screenplay that I wrote about, that I kind of showed you that I made second round of Sundance, that is a supernatural realism TV pilot. So I love stuff like this. I love the direction that they are going in. I don't know if this is going to be everybody's cup of tea, but I'm here for it. Like a little root work ain't never hurt nobody. So I think it's a very interesting kind of twist that they're moving in, but also they did have hints of this in the first season, so I don't feel like this is far-fetched, like they just adding stuff in. I feel like this is calculated and they know what, like this is not something that they're just like pulling out of their behind. Like this is something good. So yeah, then we kind of later we find out like Keyshawn, she like puts it down on Derek and she's able to get out to do the tour. She kisses her babies and goodbye before she goes out on the tour, and that kind of ends there. But something that was very interesting was Derek was trying to he kind of figured out like Keyshawn was putting the clean diapers inside of the genie bottle, inside of the genie bottle, I forget what it's called for babies, but putting it inside of there. And he kind of called the dollar store to make a complaint. Diamond got fired, and then also he called the sheriff to kind of see if, I don't know if that was in the first season, I kind of get them mixed up, but yeah, the sheriff, he wanted to see if he can he wanted to find out like after murder night, is there anything that they can do? Can they press charges? And like Derek is just obsessed. Like, if you could put this energy into finding a job, bruh, I promise you will be good. But it's just like, it's weird. But we kind of see, I think Keyshawn really misses the Pink, and as she's going to go on with the tour, it's very interesting because we did see DJ Never Scared. He's inside of the studio with Meg Thee Stallion. I don't think they show her face, but I know her voice. That was Meg Thee Stallion. So I'm wondering, predictions, maybe not, I don't know if I'm right, but I wonder, will Lil Murda start working with this Meg Thee Stallion character? We don't know her name yet. And where would that leave Keyshawn? I feel like Keyshawn is going to somehow, some way have to go back to the Pink. And what's interesting to see that, I'm interested to see like how Hailey and Mercedes start. Is their relationship going to get better? I'm interested in seeing like Whisper and Roulette's relationship. I want to see more Whisper. Like, she's a very interesting character, but also Roulette. Like, Roulette reminds me of Mercedes. I feel like they're like the same. And when they gave her that rubbing alcohol, trying to call her old, I screamed. Okay, like they left like 5 bottles of rubbing alcohol on her. Or her vanity. I was like, they are so shady. Like, they were so shady. But yeah, that was episode 1, episode 2 of P Valley. I'm excited to see like where the characters are gonna grow, especially like this dynamic with like what's gonna happen to the Pink, what's gonna happen, and also like Helly and Andre, we saw him come in at the last minute, early in the morning, while Helly was like kind of working the pole. And I'm just like, yo, your wife is on this front line and you are like slow moving with Helly. It's just like, oh my god, it makes my stomach turn. But these, I mean, authentic, this is very authentic. I could see somebody doing this in real life. But yeah, it's very interesting. I'm really intrigued to see these characters. Even Big Bone, like the beat, like she's already gonna be something else. Like she's up here twerking on tables and Toy is not having it. She's like, can you please tell your new girls to stop twerking on the table, the bar, because we ain't supposed to do that. And Hallie does not have it under control. She keeps screaming like she is the boss, but girl, she was going through it, okay? Like Uncle Clifford was going for one night, girl. Yeah, the reopen was kind of, it was kind of a mess. Yeah, it was kind of a mess. But I'm excited to see what's going to happen with like Uncle Clifford and Lil Murder. See if like they ever reunite. Even though I understand why Uncle Clifford is mad. But yeah, I'm curious to see about that. I'm curious to see Helly and Mercedes' relationship. I'm curious to see if Mercedes is ever going to have this gym, and if the girls are really going to be able to be the Chuckalisa, is it the Chargers? I don't know what they are. If she's going to try to get Terica back, I don't know. Like, I'm just really excited to see like what's going on with these characters, especially the new characters. So yeah, I feel like P-Valley season 2 episode 1 and 2 were pretty good. So I'm intrigued. I'm ready to watch episode 3 and see what that's about. So I'm gonna try to be better. I don't want to give like a super duper breakdown. I really want to do like really delve into the character. So this was my first time doing a review on a television series, so I'm gonna try to be a bit more strategic with it. But I kind of just wanted to get this out there, because if you kind of hesitate and just not put it out, then it kind of gets delayed over time. So I want to be on track of every episode, have it come out like maybe a day or two after the episode airs. So that was my review. Please like, comment, and also subscribe if you like what you see. And then like, yeah, let me know if you liked episode 1 and 2 of the new season. Do you like the new direction that they're kind of going through with like this kind of supernatural vibe? Just let me know how you feel about it. Right. Thank you.